Hello, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying these little talks, and I'm gonna wrap up some stuff for you all, and kind of narrow the tip of the spear here about what I've been talking about, because each and every one of those audios was very specific to set up, why we believe and what it is that we're doing. Okay, so what it is, it's about wrapping the idea of how everything works in your brain, wrapping it around so you can figure it out. And then once you figure it out, it'll actually, you just go over it again and again. It'll completely blow you away on how it works. Because what am I talking about? First, we're talking about who has authority and why. Our Father in heaven and whoever he deems worthy to have authority. So, and who does he say that has full authority of all his creation and access? Jesus Christ. Who's the manager of our project that we're involved with? Jesus Christ. He assigned him to it. Okay, so you have these two guys, these two, creators that have full access. They program this whole existence in. And it's that simple. They created this reality. So what's the next step? The next step is understanding the technology and how they do it and how they communicate between me and you. Just like you would in a video game. You get feedback from you throw a character in a video game, and the feedback, it sends you a signal. It tells you that because of the artificial environment that you put in it, that it's hurting, right? Well, then I can take that guy and I can either create the zone that's around him that's hurting him. I can stop it, or I can move that person. I can motivate that character to go somewhere else. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's just like a video game. I know, it's kind of insulting to some people because they think, my God, this is a lot more than a video game. Well, the concept and how things work is exactly the same. It's about technology. It's about access. Who can do things that you might consider a miracle. Can you imagine a character in a video game, right? A bot. And the next thing you know, I could put a mountain right in front of him, just out of nowhere. Cause it to disappear. I can cause it to go light. Cause it to go dark. And he has no clue where this is coming from. It's like, what the hell is this coming from? He can't see me out in the in my dimension. They're in a 2D dimension. We make it look like a 3D because of the math, but the reality is they're in 2D, and they can't see me looking through a monitor from a completely different dimension. So we have authority. We have the creators or the creators and the authority, and how is it that they have that authority? It's technology. It's not some foofy religious kumbaya reasons. It's technology. They wrote the program. That's why. So why would you argue with them? Why would you, And what's remarkable about it, it's like, okay, it's like, well, that's kind of dry. Are we just some bot? Or no, you're not. You have free agency. You have free agency. They created it because he's building his family, and you're a part of that. That's how he trains. That's how he tests. That's how he, adds value to your character. So, we have the authority, we have the technology, to wrap your mind around. I know they don't sit in front of a computer, but it gives you an idea of what it is that they're doing and how they have access to everything. Then you have the motivation why. God is a creator. He's making his family bigger. The next step is policy. Okay, we know he can do things. And we can kind of, I know that's a very broad-based definition that I gave you on how they do it. But the next step is policy, right? We're investors. We're not going to guess here. We're not going to guess. We're done guessing. We're done wondering. We're done, So, the next thing you do is, what do we find out what policy is? You go through the scripture. It's all about policy. It's all about the promises. And that's your journey. That's where you come in. You hold your Father in heaven accountable for the policies that he promised. And I'm not talking about being a jerk. Don't ever be a jerk or point your finger. But, you know, the reality is either God isn't, or either God is or he isn't. Either his promises are there or they're not. The next question is worthiness. You know, people always have that problem. Let me tell you something. You know, what measuring stick does any religious person have for letting somebody know that they're worthy of something or not? You know, you ask God for something. You need help monetary-wise for your family or whatever. Say you trip over a rock and you say a few cuss words. Is that like some type of instant flash where you're not worthy for your family to be helped? Or something like that? You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Either you live under grace or there is no grace. Either you're worthy or you're not. And, you know, you need to, it's not for me to judge, and it's also not for me to decide. What I'm doing is I'm putting information on the table again. It's for you. I have my own ideas. But I'll be honest with you, you look back and I've never been worthy of anything. I've never been perfect. So how is it that God answers my prayers? How about my business, my business partner, all my friends? How is it that God answers his prayers? I know their weaknesses, and they know mine. Yet, it's never a miss. You know, every once in a while, they just burst into your office, and, you know, it's unbelievable how he answers prayers. So if that's a hang-up, if worthiness is a hang-up, then you know what? You're lying to yourself, and you don't understand our Father in heaven. That's why the homework assignment that I wanted to give you is an article. I'm going to post it up again. It's called Pray, Always Pray. And it deals with that. And it also, the person who wrote this article, this sermon, it was from the 1800s. And it's remarkable. He uses a different analogy that I use. But again, we're a lot more advanced. We understand math. We understand digital. We understand that what we look at, we have every type of measuring tool. You can look through walls. There's nothing solid in this universe. They didn't know that back in those days. So the definitions are a little bit different, but the principles are the same. So, you know, you need to write down whatever it is that you have as you go. And this should put enough information on the table for you to start asking the right questions and for you to be motivated correctly about possibilities. There's no such thing as impossible when you have a programmer that can create anything out of thin air, just like I can in a video game. I can create anything, any situation, just right out of thin air. So you see what I mean? And that's what these guys have been telling you in the scripture. But they didn't understand it because, you know, they had to literally wrap their minds around it. Okay, it was more faith required back in those days than there is today. Some of the issues that have come up, I don't think having faith is a right definition. I think I have knowledge. I think I've moved beyond faith on some issues. So you see what I mean? Different era, different time, same promises, but I think we understand them more than they did. I really do. I think we've advanced more. And you need to utilize that. You need to leverage it. You know, so you understand where the authority comes from. You understand their love for you. Do you understand that, you know, I've said this before. You know, you ask yourself, what's the true desire of your heart? Well, I wonder what the true desire of our Father in heaven, what's the true desire of his heart? It's you. You are his ultimate creation. You're it. You're it. He sacrificed his only begotten son for you. That's how much he loved you. And he loves you. And there's promises that you need to explore. And you need to find out what they are. And you need to find out the policy, just like the policy you're looking for in Mideast investments. Policy points us to the right direction, right? What are his promises? You know, explore that. That's for you. That's for you. You need to put that on the table yourself. But, you know, wrapping your mind around anything that's impossible. There's no such thing. So if there's nothing impossible, and your Father in heaven and Jesus Christ said, ask anything, I swear it. They swear it over and over. Ask me anything. If you have faith, it's yours. It's yours. You know, but you have to understand, you know, if you understand the technology, it's a more of a reality, right? Remember what I said, point and click. I can, on my virtual games, I can click on a mountain that I made and literally move it. It's that simple. Because it's not real. It's you can see through it. But to those guys in the video game, it's completely solid. Because I programmed it that way. I can even make it transparent if I want to. I can make it to where you can see it, you can walk right through it, and they can walk right through it if I wanted to. So I'm going to do a map. And actually, I'll just open one up, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Fascinating, though. It's fascinating. So, you know, write down, you know, however you want to make your notes. You know, you understand how, you know, what it is that we're doing. You understand how he can answer your prayers. You understand where he gets his authority. You understand his policy and his promises, and you understand why they want to do it for you. You see what I mean? It's a little bit different, isn't it? It's a little bit different. And, you know, when I get a chance to talk to people about this, and I do it on a one-to-one basis all the time, and not because I'm superior or I'm giving people advice or anything like that, but they're curious on how it is that I approach prayer and our Father in Heaven technology-wise, how they communicate. It's not just some foofy thing. We're not guessing anymore. We're measuring technology, and we're learning their technology, and we're learning the different dimensions and the rules and the laws. You know, one of these days, there's not going to be anything that can hide our Father in Heaven anymore. We're going to figure it out, and it's just going to be there. You know, it's just it's like the revaluation of the dinar, right? Or the Mideast. It's wealth. You can't hide it anymore. You know, it's out there in the open. Nobody can deny it. How it all plays out, that's a different story. But it's not a secret. The cat's out of the bag. So that's the generation we're in. You know, the information generation, right? If this is not some of the best information that you've received, then I don't know what to tell you. But, you know, it's something that I've held on for, you know, 10 plus years and talked about it and explored it and looked at it even more with some of the best people on the planet. And they all have testimonies of it. So, you know, just think about it. Just think about it. I promised on the last audio that this audio would be about timing. And, you know, I'm going to do it in the next audio. And it's not going to be that long. But, again, it's putting information on the table. And it's opening your mind. It's opening your mind, and you decide what you're going to do with it. You're the professional. You're the one that needs to decide one way or the other. And don't let anybody get in front of you. Don't let me, don't let anybody. It's between you and your Father in Heaven through Jesus Christ. And that's how you get access to your Father in Heaven. And your Father in Heaven told Jesus Christ, give them everything that they want. Joint heirs, right? Joint heirs of what? Everything they created. Everything that's created. It's not a possession question. It's a access question. You have access to everything. So, you know, that's the way that you need to approach this and prayer. And, you know, I'm trying to get you to the point where you can decide that there is no limits. There is no limits. So, hey, everybody, I got to click off because I'm running out of time, and I'm going to put up another audio for you. Thank you.